Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I'm Kelly Stewart, joined by Marco D'Angelo. And the man himself, Mr. Bruce Marshall. Guys, we are really excited to announce, well, we already announced it. Yeah. We're partnering with the Gold Sheet. We own the Gold Sheet. But the best part about the Gold Sheet is Mr. Bruce Marshall still is going to be contributing massive amounts of stuff to it. Guys, if you don't know about the Gold Sheet, it was founded in 1957. It's the country's longest running sports betting newsletter, and it's now available at WagerTalk. Get issue number 1 for this football season for only $1 using coupon code WTV1 when checking out. Plus, you get $36 and added bonuses. Marco, Polo.
Oh, Kelly. Bruce, I got to tell you, a little bit of a man crush here. I don't want to, make you feel uncomfortable or anything, but, I can remember the very first newsletter I ever bought, bringing that baby home, unfolding that all, like, the old maps, and folding it out on the kitchen table.
Is that how it used to come?
Oh,
See,
yeah,
I've only ever seen the PDF.
When I sold my house in
So you go to the bookstore and get it? Like a gambler's bookstore?
You go to the gambler's bookstore, but it's not available in that version anymore, correct?
Not in the old version, looked like a map, though there is still a print version you can get at newsstands.
It was incredible, Kelly. You would unfold that thing, like 16 folds, it seemed like, spread it out on a table, and you had, before we had the internet, you wanted to see scores and logs and stuff. This was the only place to do it. And, you'd wait college basketball season when you get the weekly guide and you look at that. And then, you would get it because it'd have to be mailed to you. So you'd have to go back and find the last game because obviously, college basketball, NBA teams, they're playing a couple times, during the week. So you have to, add a score manually for yourself when you're looking at the logs. But for the NFL and college football, that was the Bible. And to go from that being the first newsletter that I ever bought, Bruce, and now to have it part of the WagerTalk family, it's just so surreal. It's also telling how old I am.
Yeah, it is. Because I remember the first time I saw the Gold Sheet, I was with Todd Furman and Kenny White. I was sitting at one of their two's desks. They were right next to each other at the Don Best offices, and I was like, what is this? And they go, don't start reading any of these things. And I said, why? And they go, because you're going to think that you're like the smartest person on the planet. You're already arrogant enough, Kelly. The last thing you need is somebody else giving you more snippets of information for you to go run around and tell other people.
Well, I didn't know my wife's going to have to be jealous now of Marco, so we're going to have to deal with that. But, yeah, we've been around a long time. It's our 63rd season. And now I didn't start there at the beginning, but I did start there in 1981. Now, Mort Olshan founded the Gold Sheet back in '57, and he has roots all the way back into the Minneapolis line in 1950. He worked with Leo Hirschfield there. So he was really one of the originators of all of this. And the Gold Sheet started in 1957. It had been based in Los Angeles all the way until now we're based in Las Vegas here. But we're really excited about it, and it's still going to look very much the same for everybody who watches, who reads the publication. You're right, it's not like a map anymore. It doesn't fold out like that. It's much easier to read now. We do have a print version, but online, best way to look at it.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. It's kind of I told Minty this earlier. Hey, Minty, if it sometimes can be a little overwhelming for newbies, but go through, figure out the games that you're already interested in. Maybe do a little bit more research. You don't have to read the whole thing. Go through and pick out the snippets that you want. A game agrees with you, always give it a little circle. Maybe that's a little extra sprinkle. For me, at least.
Are you allowed to use sprinkle? Did VR let you?
VR, I don't know. I'm not worried about VR. I love VR. But, and then you can look at things and take the data and use it. I tell my buddy this all the time. Take it, he lives in Kansas. Take it. Use it at the bar. Impress people with your sports knowledge, which isn't yours, but you're just kind of regurgitating the great information. But, Bruce, do you have any recommendations for somebody who's never gotten the Gold Sheet, how to dissect it?
Just read it, and we want to make it a good read. And you can tell, the games that I write up, it's not just numbers and guys' names. I try to make it sort of a nice read for everybody. But there's a lot of information. We're deadly serious about what goes in there. And there's a lot of stuff. Marco mentioned the power ratings, the point spread logs. We were kind of the originators of all that, all the stat information, and a lot of the inside information and the features like special ticker and looking for an angle. But the game write-ups
Looking for an angle is my favorite.
Yeah, there you go. And
I'll tell you one of the things, my favorite things, the CKO.
Yes.
The back of the CKOs
Yep.
with, you have all of the matchups
right
there side by side. You have the teams, points for and against, their offensive and defensive stats. But you guys were one of the first strength of schedule.
Yes.
That was amazing because it makes your life so much easier when you're breaking down a game. Hey, you're looking at numbers, and we all know the September, if you look at just September stats when you get to the first week of October, you're going to hurt yourself if you don't go back and look at the schedule strength, because too many teams play cupcakes, and you get the numbers right there with you to see how tough that schedule was.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Marco, because in a couple weeks I'm going to write a story about schedule strength and what's gone on with some of these schools, the way they're scheduling games. It wasn't like that back in the 60s and 70s, where you had all these, the FCS teams, even the Sun Belt and the Mid-American teams. But you're right, strength of schedule is very important. And hey, there's a few teams out there this year that are playing 2 FCS teams. Virginia Tech is one of them. They've got 2 FCS teams on the schedule, so you've really got to weigh that in. And then later in the season, you get into bowls, that stuff really becomes important. But it's important early on, too.
All right, great stuff, guys. WagerTalk TV users get $25 in wager bucks added to your account after your first purchase at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com.